Hi everybody, I am back and I thought I'd do another planner video this week. That was really well received a couple weeks ago, last week, when I posted about my planning process. And I thought this would be a good time to show how I not just set up a week, but also how I migrate tasks from one week to another, and how I decide whether to do, delegate, or delete. So this is my Moleskine weekly planner. And first, let's take a look at this week that just passed us by. When I posted this video, I said that my husband was having surgery this week. And so I wanted to be careful about what I planned because I knew that the week would probably not go according to plan. And boy, was I right. This week did not go according to plan. His surgery was far more extensive than we first anticipated. It all went very, very well. So no worries. He's doing great. Better every day. I have blocked out just a little bit of private information here. But Monday I did take my day off, which was really nice. And then Tuesdays was Joe's surgery. And we certainly had a very long day at the hospital. And then he was in the hospital through Friday night when I got to take him home. There were a lot of meetings that I missed last week, and that is fine because people understand that life happens. And there were some days where I was able to get things done. We had good reception in his hospital room, so I actually was able to edit worship videos and stuff while I was in the room while he was napping. But then there were other things that didn't get done. And then at some point in the week, I just kind of broke down because here I wrote a checkbox that says begin. And I don't know what I was planning on beginning, but obviously, I didn't complete my thought there, and that's okay. As we look over at the other side, at the Alistair method here, you can see that my physical activity, as in my intentionally planned workouts, really did not happen at all. I did have my journal at the hospital with me though, and that was really a blessed time of being able to reflect and journal and get some of my cares and concerns out on paper, and also my gratitudes for all of the wonderful doctors and nurses and CNAs who were taking care of Joe. I only did one workout one scheduled workout this week, which was my Couch to 5K week 2, day 2, which I did on Monday. But instead of putting an X in the box, I just put okay, because you know what? Last week was a weird week and it is okay. As I went through here, you can see that when jobs were done, they got a check in this column. And so this is what I look at when I go to migrate tasks. I look to see what have not been completed at all. I did not submit my work receipts. My Raven-fed videos went out the window last week, and that is just fine. I didn't have time to film or edit or post last week. I was not able to go into the church building to do any spring cleaning just because I was at the hospital a lot more than I expected. I did not post some memes for one of our local coalitions that I'm a part of. I've got some health receipts to submit, and then some work in my home office that, again, I just haven't had time to do that. Joe's been my priority. Down here, I was tracking my intentionally scheduled workouts. Here's my Raven-fed tracker, my video tracker, and there's a lot of blank spots there, and that is okay. That just didn't happen. That is what last week looked like. I can see that there are still some things that I need to complete, that I need to migrate forward, and they do still, in my opinion, need to get done, so I can't delete them from the list. So those things will definitely move forward. For this random checkbox that just says begin, I'm going to check it off because you know what? I began a lot of things last week. I don't know how many I finished, but I began them. There was one other thing that I put together, and again, it's a type of tracker that just helps me stay organized as we're in this new world of online ministry. I was operating off of just some sticky notes as I was learning the process and how to schedule it and what days, what things needed to get done. And so I made a little chart for myself just in a Word table. So this was really helpful this week for me just determining my workflow and what step needed to come next. I was actually thinking about taking this Raven-fed tracker and doing the same thing with it. And I don't know if I could tape this in and kind of have a double-sided insert here where I have my processes on both sides, or if I want to use these in my big worship planning notebook, which is an entirely different system I use that helps me schedule out series and plans for the whole year and the different seasons of the church year. But that's where I've normally kept my social media tracker, but social media is very, very different these days with online church than it was when I was just trying to keep track of how many Facebook posts I was doing per week and making memes and stuff. And so I might actually turn this into a full page where I could track multiple weeks. I'm going to keep playing with this. I don't know if I need this tracker right here. And so this to me takes up space. And I tend to need more real estate in my planner than less. And so this could be another sheet like this that has those check boxes on it for me to track. And I would just keep that in my worship planning notebook, which is a Levenger disc-bound notebook, so I can insert pages into it really easily. So that's something that I'm considering for this week. And I actually didn't even pull out a sticker for this week. So as I do my setup, I'm going to consider whether I want to keep that or not. This is this week. Okay, so I think this is what this week looks like for now. Just to talk you through it, down the left-hand side again, I have all of my appointments for the week sketched out. Again, some of these might just be canceled because if Joe requires my attention, that's my priority, and I already have not showed up for a couple Zoom calls this week, and that's okay, people understand. But these are the things that, if I'm able to, I would like to do. On Monday, which is typically my day off, I just put a note in here, care for Joe. That of course does not mean I'm only caring for Joe on Monday and no other day, but Monday was a day that we really spent together. I'm filming this here on Tuesday, which is the start of my work week. My work week is Tuesday through Sunday. And so Monday's my day off. So today, as I'm getting things organized, this helps. I usually set this up on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but of course this week has been crazy. I had X'd out this meeting thinking I was going to miss all of it, but I actually was able to show up for the last bit of it. So I'm going to give that a check mark just to remind myself that I was there for a portion of it. So that's the left-hand column, are appointments. And then the right-hand column, I went through with the highlighter and I put down what my priorities were for each day. Today on Tuesday, of course, my Tuesday newsletter goes out. I start working on sermon planning and finding or writing liturgy. And so those are my priorities for today. On Wednesday, my sermon draft is my priority. On Thursday, finishing up the worship guide. On Friday, filming the worship video if I don't get it filmed earlier. Saturday, again, I'm leaving blank for now until I figure out what I need to do on Saturday, since this week, again, is going to be variable, since this will be really the first week that Joe's home from the hospital. And then Sunday, of course, the priority is worship. Down this side, again, I use that Alistair method of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a checkbox, and then my tasks and to-dos. And this top part are my habits that I'm tracking, taking a digital Sabbath, which I actually did not do on Monday. I ended up being on my phone and Facebook and YouTube a lot. And so I do need to do that at some other point. But I think for caregivers in particular, sometimes we need that escapism and social contact of social media. And I know that I relied on that a bit yesterday when I was starting to feel overwhelmed or stressed out. But someday this week, I really want to be able to turn off my phone. And honestly, if I get all my work done, that might be Saturday for me, where I just turn off my phone and be away from the interwebs for a while. Journal and devotions, which is a daily habit for me. And then physical activity, I'm going to be a little bit more reasonable and say 3 days this week. But again, I will be flexible with that. I'm certainly getting in my steps and my strength training with helping Joe out. So I'm not going to pressure myself too much for that. I migrated over, using this arrow symbol, the tasks that I did not get done last week that I needed to put on this list. And then I wrote down my usual tasks for the week. So those things like the Tuesday newsletter, the worship guide, the liturgy, my sermon, the Saturday newsletter, the video, checking church voicemail since I'm not going into the building at the moment. And then just the videos that I need from other people for our worship service so I can edit that. And then some of my Raven-fed stuff. I did decide to leave off the Raven-fed tracker here. I'm considering if I can shrink this down a little bit in some way and either paste it in or tape it in as a little flip thing. But I'm going to play with that a little bit and see, because I did find this quite handy last week. I'm actually, as I'm getting settled into this online ministry routine, I am seeing how routine some of my tasks are each week. And I'm wondering if I can create a chart like this that has all of these regular things, like the Tuesday newsletter and the worship guide and the liturgy and the sermon and all of those things that I know I do all the time, so I don't constantly rewrite them. And I don't know if that could be a little insert that I move from week to week, or again, if those regular tasks are things that I want to move to my worship planning notebook versus keeping them in my planner. It is very helpful for me to see everything in one place so that I have an overview of my week and know where my time is going and what I need to concentrate on. And it helps me see what I need to get done and what time I have to spend with other things. And so, life is weird right now because a lot of times I'd be having outside visitations and meetings and things like that. And that has turned more into cards and phone calls, which I don't specifically schedule, but this helps me see where I have a chunk of time where I can sit down and make a few phone calls all at once or write a stack of cards to get sent out or whatever. So this just helps me plan out my week a little bit better. I do tend to front load the week. Like I said, my work week is Tuesday through Sunday. So I've got lots and lots of tasks on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that way, Friday and Saturday, I can spend more on editing and uploading those tasks that sometimes are really variable in how long they can take. And so I try to front load some of the work towards my first 3 work days, so that towards the end of the week, I've got some more flex time, just in case I didn't get things finished. If something came up again this week, this feels like a long list, but especially since I'm caring for my husband, but I can see where it fits in and where I have time to do it. So we will see how this week goes. It's kind of weird to see this blank space here. Oh, I will show you. This sticker, I didn't figure out a place to put, but I thought it was absolutely hilarious. So I'm going to stick it back in my sticker book. It says, "I don't need an inspirational quote. I need coffee." And that feels like how my week went last week and how my week has already started this week. But I'm going to reserve this for another time because I do absolutely love that quote, but I just couldn't figure out a place to put it. I am much more functional in my planning than decorative. And so I didn't want to, put too many stickers and stuff in, because this is by far colorful enough for me. So let me know how your planning has changed over the course of this pandemic. I think we're all starting to think about what's changed that we're going to continue into our new future, and what things we might need to leave behind. And so I'm curious to hear from you what that looks like with your own life and work. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, and you'll get notified when I post new videos. Thank you so much for being here today. Bye-bye.